Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run.
Hi, Jan Lewis here. Welcome to be my guest today. We have back Gary Blanchard. He is a songwriter, musician, and author, and also now he's a television host. Welcome back, Gary.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
And you have your television show in where?
That's correct.
What's it called?
It's called Creative Connections.
How can people watch it?
You can go to the Ware Community Television website and go to Video on Demand, or you can go to www.creativeconnections.co and watch past episodes of the show there as well.
You've been doing this for about a year now, maybe?
I started last September.
Last September, so we're going on a year.
Yeah.
And you enjoy it. You interview all kinds of guests too, right?
Yeah, it focuses on people in the arts, writers, musicians. I had a theater troupe that was doing Arsenic and Old Lace, and they came in character. So the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm interviewing the characters of the play.
Yeah.
And, then we kind of broke character and, but that was interesting.
How did they find you, or did you find them?
Well, it's the Ware Community Theater.
Yeah.
So they contacted the TV station.
They knew.
And our producer said, you would be great for the Creative Connection show. So that's...
Well, Gary has yet another CD out, Light One Candle. Fantastic picture of him. You look like a scholar from Yale or Harvard. So, I don't know, can you get this? I don't know if you can get this or not. But it's excellent, and he's got all these new songs he's written on the back. I don't have a favorite this time. I can't pick one out. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to pick a favorite with you. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then we're going to talk about this. He's going to play on his piano here for us. Didn't bring the git fiddle, the guitar today, but he brought his new piano, his portable piano. He has his book. This is his memoir, Light One Candle, Memoirs of an Unknown Songwriter. How long did it take you to write this?
It took me 68 years.
No. Come on.
Well, I started it when I was a child.
You're not 68 yet, not till August. I know that. Okay.
No, I wrote it fairly quickly, and I have to give a big shout out to Carol, who helped work as my editor to clean up a lot of my shortcomings.
Carol Mays is his wife. We just had her on. She's a poet and an author. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was, I'm at that age, where, of course, we're looking at the 50th anniversary of Woodstock, but it's the 50th anniversary of my high school graduation.
Yeah.
The year I turned 18 was a very traumatic year, looking at the draft and all those type of things.
Yeah.
And, looking back at how far I've come from being a child who grew up in the projects to where I'm at now. And, just felt like I needed to write something to let people know that the little contributions you make are important. Because people tend to think that, if you're rich and famous and you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
But we all do these little things that make the world a little bit better. And we touch a few lives, but in touching those, that person might touch another person's life. And it just spreads. Yeah. So I really felt it was important to kind of verbalize how, you light one candle, and that candle lights others, and next thing you know, we're in the light.
Gary, you're also teaching. So where are you teaching?
I teach at Holyoke Community College, and will be teaching this fall also at Anna Maria College in Paxton.
About recoveries from addictions, that type of thing?
Yeah, right, addiction treatment.
We have a new place in Millbury. He was just on, the director. God, I can't think. Sunshine? I can't think of the name of it. It's right up the street in Millbury.
Okay.
It's great. The more the merrier.
Oh, absolutely.
We need them.
Absolutely.
I think in the 80s they were very popular. Then suddenly they began to shut them down.
Right, yeah.
Why? I don't have money probably.
Well, money. It's, the blessing and curse of insurance.
Oh, yeah.
It made it more affordable in some ways, but also started raising the prices and the costs and, made it a difficult business.
I mean,
But,
they used to put you in what? I heard 30 days. Now you're lucky if you get 5.
right.
All right, now I don't know where to go with this. Gary, have you got a copy of your memoir, Light One Candle, down in the library?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I will leave one.
All righty. Now, play something. Tell us about your songs that he's got his piano here. He brought this up.
Yeah, this CD was interesting to me because more than half of it was written at the piano. And, just like with guitar, I've never had a lesson. So, and it probably shows as I play.
No.
But for some reason, sitting down at the piano, an instrument I'm not as familiar with, really changed the writing to a degree.
Yeah.
And it was a nice welcome change.
So it's odd not to see you with your guitar.
I know it feels a little odd not to have it, but yeah. So I'm going to do the second song from the CD, and one of the first ones that I wrote for it. It's called "Child of the Light."
Yeah. I love the way the CD opens, and there he is again, sitting there. Is that your library at home?
That's the West Brookfield Library.
Who took this fantastic picture, Carol?
No, a young lady named Sarah Fahey, from West Brookfield, who also did the cover photo of the book.
Yeah.
And the cover photo of the CD actually was inspired by the cover of Graham Nash's Wild Tales album from the 1970s.
Don't remember it.
And it was a black and white photo, and I thought it was just so striking. So we kind of did that.
Dedicated with love to my wife, Carol May. She is my source of light and inspiration.
And we will sing "Child of the Light." When it feels like you're lost in the darkness, feels like you'll never be found. When it seems like you've gone just a little too far, there's no way of turning around. Reach down into the light and let it flow. And the flames of the light and watch it grow. Don't hide it under a bushel. Let that inner light shine. Let it warm your heart and soul. Open the door of your mind. Your light will conquer the darkness. You are in control of your plight. Remember the wisdom of ages. You are a child of the light. Reach down into the light and let it flow. And the flames of the light and watch it grow. Don't sit there cursing the darkness. You are in control of your plight. Remember the wisdom of ages. You are a child of the light.
I like that.
Thank you.
I really do. Your songs always have a. It's first of all, it's your voice, and the second, that's always affected me. I've told the audience many times when I've had major surgery, I listened right beforehand and everything to some of Gary's songs. They have a comforting quality and always happy, uplifting. It's hard to miss.
Yeah, I've written a few downers.
You have?
Oh yeah,
I haven't heard of them.
There was one on the Give Love CD called "The Land of Long Away," which is basically about dying.
I don't remember that.
And it was one of those songs that came to me in a dream. I woke up, it was there. I went weeks, and it was still hanging around. And I finally decided to write it down and record it.
Yeah.
But I've only performed it live one time because it's a nice song and it's a pretty song, but it's sad.
Boy, Gary, we're lucky to have him with us. You had a heart attack. What, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, talk about luck, huh? That was great.
Yeah. Luck and, good doctors and listening to the doctors.
Yeah, that took you by surprise because I would never figure Gary. I mean, right up there, Mr. Energy.
And, having Carol in my life gives me a reason to take good care of myself. So.
Definitely. All right, sing us another song.
Okay. This is called Listen. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. Listen to the thunder as it calls your name. Over the valley and through the hills, the wind is calling and it calls you still. Listen to the song of the whippoorwill. Let the warmth of its singing overcome the chill. Let the message sink into your soul. Let it fill your heart and make your spirit whole. Listen to the lyrics of the ancient song. Listen to the music that carries you along, across the ages and across the lands, to the place where your spirit stands.
You're self-taught on the piano as well.
Yeah.
When did you start teaching yourself on the piano?
I probably started back in the 80s.
Okay.
I went through a period where I gave up the guitar and I got an electronic keyboard, and I was doing this really avant-garde, poor man's Laurie Anderson type of thing.
Yeah.
And taught myself some basics, but I could never really do well on a piano. But I got a chance to sit down at a piano for a little bit, and I realized that the weighted keys of the real piano allowed me to play differently than on just a synthesizer that
This
has
is lighter.
no resistance.
Is it lighter? Right?
Yeah, it's lighter.
Yeah.
So I bought a digital piano that has the weighted keys, and just started sitting down and fooling around with it, and have come up with something that works for me. But
who was on the Bee Gees? They've been playing it on Channel 2 a lot, so you could buy the old Bee Gees collections. He had the hat, the long coat, and he stands up and he plays this. Was it Maurice, or I can't remember their name.
Yeah, I can't
Robin,
remember.
Maurice, but that's what it reminds me of. He's standing up there playing it on stage.
Okay.
We got so much to cover with Gary. We've got his brand new CD, and we've got. I never thought you'd be writing a memoir.
Yeah.
This is.
And as I say, I mean, there's been some interesting experiences along the way. Certainly, I think my experiences with the draft board, because I wanted to do my alternate civilian duty.
Right.
Having read Gandhi at the age of 10, I became a confirmed pacifist at the age of 10.
So Vietnam didn't sound too exciting.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
But it was a period of time where, I wanted to prove to the draft board that it wasn't that I didn't want to serve, but I couldn't serve militarily. So I did 2.5 years work in a civilian hospital is my alternative duty.
Were you doing psychology work then?
No. I had no dream back then, because growing up in the projects, when I talked to my family about going to college,
Yeah.
their basic reply was, well, it's not going to happen, you're not going to make it. Go to the factory, get a job, and be happy.
Ah.
So it was only, I was 42 before I went to college. Which is interesting, because when I send somebody a resume
Yeah.
and they see that I graduated in 1998, they're expecting somebody much younger to walk into the interview. And it's sometimes interesting to watch the face as I walk in.
How do you keep a straight face?
Well, you do. Carol and I were out to lunch the other day, and she was sitting facing out to the aisle. I had my back to the aisle. The waiter comes behind us and around to the side, and as he's walking around, he says, "How are you ladies today?" And he turns to look at me, and he sees the beard, and the voice kind of trails off. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, Gary's got the lion's mane. He's got the beard. I mean, but he's got the hair, and I could see.
Yeah, yeah. But you just take things in stride. You
Yeah. Did you laugh when he said that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's good. I mean,
He didn't mean any harm by it.
No, he didn't mean any harm, and
You ladies. Oh my God. That is something.
Yeah, you take things as they come, and that's life.
The first publication of Positive Path Recovery. What was that?
Positive Path Recovery is a book I wrote of an approach to treating addiction that is focused on the positive aspects. It's not so much I'm giving up drugs and alcohol as I am gaining a life. So you're focused on all the things
Right.
that you are gaining rather than what you're giving up.
Right.
And instead of talking about relapse prevention, I talk about building and maintaining recovery,
Right.
which will have the same result.
Yeah.
But instead of being focused on not failing, you're focused on succeeding.
Right. It's like, I don't know, sometimes I think it's like, I would think it would be like a feeling of driving with the emergency brake on. Think, well, the monkey's always sitting on my shoulder. Well, it doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to. Right. And it's 20 years later, the newest edition of that book
Mm-hmm.
is published by Kendall Hunt, a textbook publisher, and is one of the textbooks I use in one of my classes.
So that is great.
Yeah. And for the kid from the projects who wasn't supposed to go to college.
You did very, very well.
Yeah.
You were a late bloomer.
Late bloomer. And, again, I have to give Carol a lot of credit, because she really encouraged me and stood behind me while I went through college. And, it was a struggle, but she was there at all times and, giving support. So
Those of you who have watched over the years being my guest, you know Gary Blanchard. He's been on quite a bit, and we love him. He is the one that wrote and sang the intro to this program, Run River Run, and also the exit. So that was the Gypsy Moon. I believe it's a Gypsy Moon. He is the author and the songwriter. This is a cute picture of Carol and Gary's old-time music, Finding My Way. I mean, this is his memoir.
Yeah.
These are things about Gary. I think I was reading it at home. I said, Paul, you're not going to believe this. It's like, there you are. Now, that's, by the way, Lunar Eclipse, that's the way I first met you. You had shorter hair. I remember that.
Right.
I remember that. And I remember when we were first over temporarily at the headquarters building down the way. You got there before we did.
Right.
And so here was this man walking around the Upton fire headquarters building with his guitar, looking around like, now where do I go? But he made it. He made it upstairs. You've been with us through probably the 3 changes. And then we came here in 2015 in our own studio. But he's been coming. I think every year you've been with us.
Yeah.
And then Carol started coming on board.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Play us something more.
Okay. This was actually the last song I think that I wrote for the CD, and it's called Rise Up.
Yeah.
Rise up and fly in glory. Rise up and spread your wings. Rise up and tell the story. Rise up to all life brings. The power lies within you. Just let the power flow. Rise up and fly in glory. Rise up and let love grow. Rise up and share the loving. Rise up and tear down walls. Rise up and let the sunshine flow. And watch as hatred falls. The power lies between us. Just let the power flow. Rise up and share the loving. Let the loving glow. One comes from many, and many comes from one. When all hearts are united, we see what can be done when we are one. Rise up and share the loving. Rise up and tear down walls. Rise up and let the sunshine flow. And watch as hatred falls. The power lies between us. Just let the power flow. Rise up and share the loving. Let the loving glow. Let love flow. Watch love grow.
Another good one. Gary Blanchard, songwriter, musician, author, television host. Gary, we got how many things? Okay. If someone wants to have you come to their cafe or their event, how can they get a hold of you?
You can go to garyblanchard.info, www.garyblanchard.info. You can find me on Facebook and message me through Facebook.
Okay, now, to get your CD.
The CD is available also at that website. If you're in the Brookfield area, you can go to Brookfield Orchards and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Okay. Now, also his memoir. Never thought I'd see this. Light One Candle, Memoirs of an Unknown Songwriter.
That you can go to Amazon and find. And I'm sure, again, as Carol mentioned, once it's published through Amazon, it seems to be available through BarnesandNoble.com. Not so much in the bookstores.
No,
but,
that's okay though.
But online.
Check downstairs too, obviously in the Upton Town
It'll
Library.
be in the Upton Library. So.
Now, what are you working on? Where are you going to appear next? Where's your next gig?
In July, I'm going to be at the Mill 180 Park in East Hampton, which is interesting because it's an indoor hydroponic park.
All water coming in, right?
Well, they have water-based plants in there.
Okay.
But, it's artificial turf, and they've got a little hobbit house there.
Oh.
And wonderful food.
Yeah.
Including some good vegetarian options. So that'll be July 17th. Or July 19th, whichever one is a Friday night.
What time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay.
And
is there any fee to get in, Gary? Or?
No, it's free to get in.
Okay.
And then Carol and I, this fall, we don't have an exact date yet, but we'll be doing a uplifting poems and songs presentation in Brookfield, Mass. Location and time to be announced.
Yeah.
But if you go to my website, you will see a calendar of upcoming events.
Give them your website again.
It's www.garyblanchard.info.
Now, if you'd like to have him come, I mean, I've seen him, gosh, we had him here in Upton. We've had him, where did I see you? You were in Grafton on the stage there. I think it was when there was that big art, we had a big art, where else have I seen you? Well, at our beach, you were there one summer.
Right, and you came out to the Worcester Library
That's
one
right,
time.
Worcester Library, and I saw Mr. Bechtold, Matt, our librarian director's father, who passed away, sadly.
Yeah.
We saw him read, you were playing, and Carol read. Carol read. I would think, a lot of people, especially, book cafes now, that type of thing, there are so many places out there that are looking for an entertainment. I'm learning as I go about that, because usually I'm used to sending my authors or whatever to maybe libraries or bookstores or even senior centers, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about this? Because senior centers would probably love it too.
Yeah, well, even if I don't play at a senior center, the audience looks like we're at a senior center.
No way. Are you kidding me? No, I would think this is ageless.
It is ageless, but I do find that I tend to bring in a larger, older audience, and that's okay. You
Yeah.
know?
The kids who grew up in the 60s and 70s?
Right.
Hey, peace, baby, right? Did I ever tell you, a number of years ago, while my son was still in his teens, and I thought, this ought to be good. So I borrowed Woodstock from the library, and I thought, he is going to make such fun of me, because he's into the hard rock, the hardcore rap, and we're... So I sat down in the living room and bravely put on Woodstock, waiting. He was amazed. He loved it.
Yeah. It was, it was a good time. It was good music,
Yeah.
and I think there are a lot of younger people who do still appreciate the older music.
Yeah, I know. I said, look, son, we didn't all do drugs and drink at that. Okay, it's cool. But he got a kick out of the mudslide thing, I think.
Yeah.
I said, we were a group who had fun. Our music was happy.
Yeah.
Now it's not happy.
Yeah, and there's always a fish cheer too. But
Yeah, what was that?
We won't go into the.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
I remember. The mudslide was da 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 da. You're going. That looks like. I don't think I was too young, but I think that emotionally I wasn't right. But at that point, I think the crowd alone probably would have overwhelmed many of us.
I think so. And I just had too much going on in my life at that point to think of going to New York. But the spirit of Woodstock, I think, is still alive, and particularly alive in me. So.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And if you, Carol, I should share with Carol, that a lot of the styles coming back have been the funky granny dresses, and like for us girls, the fun hair things. I remember being in high school, the big look was parted in the middle and straight. My mother, not now, but my mother ironed mine to make it completely straight. You had to look just like the other girls.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and the boys were beginning with the Beatles and the Rolling Stone look.
Yeah.
They all had to have that the Beatle look.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I was just too young, and I know that I was on the way to being prepared to go to college when Woodstock came out. So like you, things were too much going on in my life, and that was, like you said, that was a very kind of a traumatic year coming up there.
It really was. But
yeah, definitely.
Still a magical year in my life.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that this generation and the next one's coming up have something magical too.
Well, and the magic is there, and the media always focuses on the negative.
Yep.
And that's why I really, in my music, strive to focus on the positive, because there's so much positive out there that gets overlooked.
Gary Blanchard, he'll be back. I'm sure he will. He brought his piano today, and next time maybe... Can you bring both? Or that'd be a lot to carry.
That's a lot to carry.
A lot to carry.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens next
time. You had
time.
A pack, like a backpack for this thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it for a piano, like a portable piano. And we fit him in right here. We got him in. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
And if you want to watch his television show again, what do they go to?
It's www.creativeconnections.co.
Okay, and his show is out of where? Massachusetts. And how often are you on?
It's the show is a half hour.
It's a half hour, and you're on like it shows once a week. It's aired.
It basically.
Okay.
We're a little behind in taping right now because I've been busy.
Okay. And if someone would like to be a guest on his show, you can still contact him.
Contact me through the website, and I'll be glad to have you on.
I'm beginning to send people from up here down there too, because I know Gary, very open-minded, like this show. I mean, we have a lot of authors, but we have a lot of other people on too, and it's fun to have the variety. You know, really. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream.